Somerset improved their chances of making it into the last 8 of the NatWest T20 Blast with a convincing 9-wicket win with 12 balls to spare against a struggling Middlesex in Uxbridge, the home team losing for the 5th time in a row. On his return from the England team, Owen Morgan won the toss and decided to bat first on a fast and hard track with an outfield that was brown and like a road. Paul Stirling wasted no time in planting a delivery from Jamie Overton into the real road nearby. It was a cracking start by both the Irishman and former Somerset man Nick Compton, who was celebrating his 32nd birthday. He had the best seat in the house as Stirling went over cover 2 balls later for another 6. Alas, Compton didn't get the present he would have been hoping for. On 10, he skied a shot off Tim Groenewald and was taken at mid-off by Alphonso Thomas, who'd announced at the toss that he would have fielded first had he won the toss. Middlesex had their 50 up in the 4th over before Luke Ronke took a catch on his Somerset debut in the next one by clinging on to a simple chance behind as Stirling was out this time for 29, Groenewald the successful bowler again. So after the flying start, Middlesex were restricted to a score of 58 for 2, and it needed John Simpson to try to pick up the pace again in partnership with Morgan. Simpson belted a low full toss from Max Waller, who was into the attack in the game's 9th over, into the players' pavilion, and next ball the leg spinner was hit down the ground for another maximum, just what the doctor ordered for the home team after the boundaries had dried up somewhat. But when, later in the same over, Morgan tried something similar, he was held just inside the rope by Peter Trigo, the England man on his way for 7. Middlesex had made 89 for 3 at the halfway stage of their innings, the average at this ground being 159 from 20, although Gloucestershire hit a domestic record of 254 here a few years back. Middlesex found themselves on 93 for 4 in over number 11 when James Franklin was taken at long off Jamie Overton. Middlesex had their 100 up in the next over as Abdur Rahman completed 4 excellent overs for a cost of only 19 runs. Simpson's innings was now a key one for the home team. He made it to a 50 off 30 balls with 4 4s and 2 6s included, and now really needed to make the most of the remaining 5 overs, Middlesex going into them with a total on 130 for 5. Andrew Balbirnie started to find his feet too at this stage. These important moments for him as a good partnership was developing, something the home side haven't always managed this year. But after adding 38 for the 5th wicket, Balbirnie on 17 top-edged to sweep off Waller to give Trigo a comfortable catch in the deep. Overton then ripped out Ryan Higgins' middle stump as he made too much room for himself, leaving it to Simpson to see what he could achieve at the end of the innings with the tail-enders. Ollie Rayner was bowled for 5 in the penultimate over, trying something crafty as Groenewald ended with 3 for 27 from his 4 overs. Simpson hit the first ball of the last over for 6 to surpass his previous best T20 score of 74 made against Gloucestershire in Richmond just a couple of weeks ago. His 84 not out off 51 balls took his side to 171 for 7 from their 20 overs. That looked a little beneath par, and with Johan Myburgh getting off to a flying start with 3 boundaries off Kyle Abbott's first over, there was no arguing with that. It was an over which went for 13. Abbott's second had a similar return, this time Jim Allenby making the most of the early fielding restrictions, which saw Somerset reach a score of 32 without loss after 3 overs. They had 50 on the board after 5, an ideal platform being laid by both Myburgh and Allenby, who continued to find the boundaries with ease as the home attack didn't always get their lines and lengths right. They were really in need of some wickets to slow down the batsmen's progress. Somerset made 54 without loss from their power play overs, and Allenby then struck his side's first 6 as Ravi Patel was brought into the attack. Allenby cleared the rope again in the next over off Rayner, this time straight down the ground, before he completed a 50 off 25 balls with this edged 4, his 7th boundary to go with those 2 maximums. Allenby struck a T20 ton against this opposition as a Glamorgan player at one of Middlesex's other outgrounds, Richmond, last summer. Myburgh was dropped in the deep on 35 and also earlier on 13, and left Somerset on 93 without loss after 10, the 100 then brought up in the next over, with both openers still at the crease. Myburgh also completed his half-century of a more patient 41 deliveries from which he'd found the boundary 8 times. With both batsmen well in by now, Somerset were cruising towards their target. And they were helped further when both James Harris and Morgan left a catch to each other. It was turning out to be one of those nights for the home team. At last, Franklin gave them something to smile about as he broke through in the 14th over, Myburgh missing one to be bowled for 53, ending an opening stand of 118 which had almost put the result of this game beyond doubt. 49 were wanted off the last 6 overs and Allenby kept his side on the road to victory with this 6 off Patel. And a firmly struck flat maximum in the same over by Trigo had that target down to 36 off the last 5, the total now on 136 for 1. Allenby was now racing to see if he could make it 2 tons in 2 years against Middlesex, and another 6, his 4th, this one off Abbott, took him into the 80s with 20 more needed for victory. He didn't get there as it was to turn out, Trigo seeing to that with some typically lusty blows, which had Somerset at their target with plenty of time to spare. Allenby was to end on 89 off 51 balls as Trigo smashed a sterling long hop over mid-wicket to win the game with 2 full overs remaining, Trigo helping himself to a rapid 28 to put the icing on Somerset's cake. The margin of victory was by 9 wickets with 12 balls unused, Middlesex now dropping to the foot of the South Group table ahead of their next game at Lord's on Thursday against Sussex, while Somerset are up to 5th ahead of the TV game with Glamorgan on Sunday afternoon.